Okay, so get this. You know how everyone's always talking about like a truly smart home?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are about to take a deep dive into a robot vacuum.
Yeah.
It's not just smart, it's practically a genius.
Oh, wow.
Imagine this. You're relaxing,
Okay.
maybe reading a book,
Yeah.
and your vacuum is not only cleaning the floor, it's actually picking up clutter too.
What?
No more pre-cleaning scramble before hitting that start button.
That's amazing. So we're talking about the Roborock Saros Z70.
Okay.
And this thing has like a wild feature. It has a foldable robotic arm
I know.
built right in.
I was reading about this in this Tech Buzz Talks podcast, and my jaw practically hit the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all dreamed of robots doing our chores.
Totally.
But this is taking things to a whole new level.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is how this arm isn't just grabbing things randomly.
Right.
It uses AI-powered object recognition. So it can tell the difference between, say, a sock on the floor and your expensive headphones. It's designed to pick things up with the right amount of care,
Wow.
which is pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is. So you're not just getting like a superpowered cleaning machine.
Yeah.
You're getting a robot that can actually tidy up.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. How much time do you spend each week just picking things up off the floor
Oh, tons.
before you can even vacuum?
It's a huge time saver for anyone but, especially for people with like busy schedules,
Right.
families, pets, basically anyone who struggles to keep their floors clear.
Yeah.
The Saros Z70 could be a total game changer in that sense.
For sure. And they were saying in the podcast that it like seamlessly switches between vacuuming and mopping too.
Oh, wow.
So it's tackling multiple chores at once, which is incredibly efficient.
Multitasking.
Now, this arm technology, how does it actually work? Is it like those claw machines you see at arcades?
No, not quite. The arm is much more sophisticated. Think of it as like a multi-jointed limb that can fold and unfold. It uses a combination of sensors and cameras to map its surroundings and identify objects, and then the AI kicks in to determine the best way to grasp and lift each item.
That's amazing. So it's not just blindly grabbing things. It's actually analyzing the situation
Right.
and choosing the most effective way to pick things up.
Yeah,
That level of sophistication in a home robot is truly impressive.
it really is. And it raises some interesting questions about how far this technology can go.
Yeah, like what's next?
I mean, if a robot can learn to pick up a variety of objects, what other tasks could it potentially handle in the future?
Right.
It really makes you think about the possibilities.
It does. And the challenges too, right?
So, of course.
I mean, with a robot this advanced, you have to think about things like safety and reliability.
Yeah.
We're essentially bringing like a pretty powerful machine into our homes.
Right.
So it needs to be designed and tested rigorously.
Absolutely. Safety is paramount, especially when you're dealing with a robot that can move around independently and interact with its environment. There's also the question of durability. How well will this arm hold up over time, especially with repeated use? These are all important considerations.
Totally. It's like with any new tech. There's a learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to make sure we're using it responsibly.
For sure.
But back to the practicalities. How well does this thing actually clean? Does the arm get in the way of its vacuuming or mopping abilities?
So from what I've gathered, the design is incredibly well thought out.
Sure.
And the arm isn't in use, it folds neatly away, allowing the robot to function as a traditional vacuum cleaner. It seems like Roborock has really tried to create a seamless integration of these two functions.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now, I'm curious about the AI side of things. How does it actually learn to recognize different objects? Is it constantly updating its database, like some sort of robotic brainiac?
That's a great question. From what I understand, the Saros Z70 uses a combination of machine learning and pre-programmed algorithms.
Okay.
It comes with a vast database of objects it can already identify, but it can also learn and adapt to new objects over time. The more you use it, the smarter it gets.
That's incredible. So it's not just cleaning. It's constantly learning and improving, becoming more and more integrated into your home.
Right.
This feels like we're really stepping into the future of smart homes here.
It really is a glimpse into the future.
Yeah.
Think about the potential impact on accessibility
Right.
for people with mobility issues.
Right. Yeah.
Having a robot that can help with those everyday tasks could be truly empowering.
That's such a good point. It's not even just about convenience. It's about opening up possibilities
Right.
for people who might otherwise struggle with these chores.
Exactly.
It's like having an extra pair of hands.
Yeah.
Literally.
And it goes beyond physical assistance, too.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine, like, the mental load it could lift.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Knowing that you don't have to worry about constantly tidying up,
Yeah.
it could free up mental space for other things,
Yeah.
like spending time with loved ones or pursuing hobbies.
Totally. It's like outsourcing
Yeah.
a part of your mental to-do list
Right.
to a robot. And speaking of outsourcing, this whole concept really makes you wonder, what's next?
Why is
If they can do this now, what will home robots be capable of in like 5-10 years?
It's fascinating to even speculate if they've already cracked object recognition.
Yeah.
And manipulation to this degree. Who knows what's around the corner?
Right.
Maybe we'll have robots that can do laundry,
Ooh.
fold clothes, or even cook meals.
A robot chef that can whip up dinner while I'm at work.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I'd love to come home to a delicious home-cooked meal every night without lifting a finger.
Wouldn't that be something? And think of the possibilities for people who might not have the time or skills to cook elaborate meals from scratch. It could like democratize access to healthy home-cooked food in a way we've never seen before.
It's a really interesting thought. It's like this technology could potentially level the playing field in terms of culinary skill and time constraints. But let's be real for a second. This level of sophistication probably comes with a hefty price tag, right?
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Cutting-edge technology rarely comes cheap, especially in its early stages.
Yeah.
But remember how expensive flat-screen TVs were when they first came out?
Oh, yeah.
Now they're practically everywhere. It's likely that the price of these robot helpers will come down as the technology becomes more mainstream.
I hope so. I could already picture myself saving up for my very own Roborock Saros Z70. It's like an investment in my future free time and sanity.
I think that's a great way to look at it. And as with any investment, you want to be informed.
Okay.
So let's talk a bit about the potential downsides.
Good point.
Yeah.
It's not all sunshine and robots, right?
Right.
We need to think critically about the implications of bringing such advanced technology into our homes.
Exactly. One thing to consider is data privacy. These robots are collecting a lot of information about our homes and our habits.
Oh, wow.
It's important to understand how that data is being used and stored and to make sure we're comfortable with the level of access we're granting these companies.
That's a valid concern. I hadn't even thought about the data aspect of it. It's like having a little spy robot roaming around your house, taking notes on everything you do.
Well, maybe not quite a spy. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
It's important to be aware of the potential privacy implications and to make sure we're using these devices in a way that protects our personal information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about potential downsides, what about the impact on jobs? If robots start taking over household chores, what happens to the people who currently do those jobs for a living?
That's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Yeah.
It's something we need to address as a society. As automation becomes more prevalent,
For sure.
we need to think about how to create new opportunities and support those who might be displaced by these technological advancements.
Totally agree. It's not about stopping progress. It's about managing it responsibly and making sure everyone benefits from it, not just a select few.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to harness this technology for good while also mitigating the potential negative consequences.
So it's a balancing act,
Yeah.
like with most things in life. And as consumers,
Yeah.
we have a role to play in shaping how this technology develops
Yeah.
by demanding transparency, ethical practices.
And responsible innovation.
Absolutely. It's about being informed and engaged consumers, asking the right questions,
Yeah.
and holding companies accountable for the products they create.
This is getting deep. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. For all you listeners out there who are already dreaming of having a Roborock Saros Z70 zipping around your home, we want to hear from you. What excites you the most about this technology? What are your biggest concerns? Hit us up on social media, and let's continue this conversation.
And while you're thinking about that, I want to pose a fun question.
Okay.
If the Saros Z70 could
Think
do...
one more thing. To make your life easier, what would it be?
Ooh.
Imagine it already vacuums mops and tidies up. What's the next level of home helper you'd want to see?
That's a great question. It really gets you thinking about the possibilities. Personally, I'd love a robot that could do my laundry
Really?
from start to finish. Folding clothes is my nemesis.
I hear you on that one. Laundry is definitely a time-consuming chore. Imagine a robot that could sort wash dry and neatly fold all your clothes, maybe even iron them.
Now you're talking. That would be a dream come true. But even without the laundry skills, this Saros Z70 feels like a major step forward in home robotics.
It really is.
It's making me reconsider what's possible and what we might expect from technology in the near future.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're on the cusp of like a whole new era of home robotics.
I know, it's so exciting.
And the exciting part is
Yeah.
that we're all part of this unfolding story, witnessing these advancements in real time.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago
Yeah.
that robot vacuums were considered a novelty.
Right.
And now we're talking about robots that can practically tidy your entire house.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing how quickly this technology is evolving.
Yeah. It really is. And that rapid pace of innovation makes it even more important to have these conversations about the potential benefits and challenges that come with it.
For sure.
It's not just about the wow factor. It's about understanding how these technologies will shape our lives, both individually and as a society.
Absolutely. We can't just blindly embrace every shiny new gadget without considering the broader implications.
Yeah.
It's about being thoughtful and informed consumers.
Yeah.
Asking the tough questions and demanding responsible development from these tech companies.
I couldn't agree more. It's a collective responsibility, really.
Yeah.
We need to be having these conversations at all levels, from individual households to government policy, to ensure that these advancements benefit humanity as a whole.
Well said. And speaking of benefits, I'm curious to hear what our listeners envision for the future of home robotics.
Oh, yeah.
If you could have a robot helper that does anything you want, what would be at the top of your list?
That's a great question to ponder. It really sparks the imagination. Maybe a robot gardener that keeps your plants perfectly pruned and watered, or a personal stylist that helps you pick out the perfect outfit each morning.
I love that. A robot stylist. That would definitely save me a lot of time and stress in the wearings.
Right, and it highlights how these robots could not only save us time and effort, but also potentially enhance our creativity and self-expression.
Yeah.
It's not just about replacing tasks, it's about opening up new possibilities.
I think that's a key takeaway from our deep dive today. The Roborock Saros Z70 is more than just a cool gadget. It's a symbol of how far we've come in the field of robotics and a glimpse into a future where technology could radically transform the way we live our lives.
And as we move forward, it's up to all of us to shape that future in a way that's both exciting and ethical, ensuring that these advancements serve humanity in the best way possible.
Well said. So to our listeners, keep those imaginations running wild, keep asking those tough questions, and keep exploring the ever-evolving world of robotics. Who knows what incredible innovations await us just around the corner.
That's the beauty of it all. The future is full of possibilities, and we're all along for the ride. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of home robotics.